All right, and we're up.
Good morning. You started, we're
Morning.
live, and I already finished all my coffee.
Bad timing. It took us too long to get started. It's the problem. So welcome to part two. I will rename the first video to part one. I never expected us to finish in the time we had yesterday. But hopefully we're a little bit more prepared this week. This week, today. It was like 2 days ago when we did our last one. Yeah, it should be good. I've got a crazy setup now where I've got a camera where you can actually see me looking to the side at the code now. It's super exciting for everyone, I'm sure.
Thank you, sacrificial
so yeah.
iPad.
I wonder if it would be worthwhile to share my screen, like my entire screen, so that
seeing the app run and seeing like when we're reading a blog post is useful.
Yep. So I'm gonna stop screen sharing over here. So this is gonna look weird. Actually, no, that's what I can do. Stop.
Pro tip: do not disturb mode for the notifications.
Yeah, it was kind of nice last time having the notifications because I could see people tweet at me. Whoa, all the way down. Yeah. All right.
Let's
cool.
Go. Living on the edge.
I turned them off. All right. The fun escape thing. So
already?
I'm probably. Oh yeah. Yep. Just happened. What's going on with this dot?
Tell us. There was so that is showing us that the line was modified. So it's like a get, telling us that something got modified, and it was because this bracket right here was missing. So this guy down here was causing a syntax error. So I just added it just now, and it's yelling at us. It's telling us to commit.
Interesting. Not really. Okay, so this is what our app looks like after part one. We have a start timer button, and we can hit it, and it says stop timer, and we can hit that, and nothing happens. So why don't we go ahead and implement a different action for stop timer? And do you want to maybe drive on this since I'm a jerk?
Yeah, I will give this a go. So I'm going to be looking at the radio buttons example on Elm to kind of like just yank code from this. Yeah. So question, we start off in initial and we have started. Does it make sense to add a stopped, or do you just go back to initial? You know what I'm saying? Or, is initial special in its own right? In other words, of the types.
I think, I don't know. It's hard to say. So I would say that the action, the message we don't have a message for stop timer. But obviously we'd be setting a state to something. So right now, I think we want to get back to the state that is that says
initial.
Initial, yeah.
Okay. So down here, so I'm looking right here. So if we change this, change to LT stop, that's going to yell at us because I think we need another type. So stop timer, right? And then if we yank this to here and change word to stop timer and change this to initial and run these things, does that work? Hey.
Yep. So now I can toggle back and forth.
Look at that. Wow, 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 wow. That is so simple. Like, I'm just like, this is the first Elm that I've written. But that's like so much less like crap you have to deal with, right? Like you just say some types and it just like compiles and works. That's really kind of nice.
Totally. I'm definitely kind of curious, like the bigger Elm apps that I've seen, which isn't much. I'm a little bit uncomfortable with how big things seem to get, like massive case statements, managing lots of messages.
I can absolutely see that, especially doing Redux and stuff where you make like a new action for every single thing and you basically just have like just one giant file of just different actions and stuff like that. So I can totally get that. That makes a lot of sense to me. Also, go ahead.
I'm sure that there are patterns to make that better that I just don't know about. But it seems that there's like, at least with the people that I saw talking about their code, like they just comfort and know this is fine kind of thing. Like a case statement that literally just updates state is probably different than a function that's like 30 lines of code long doing very different things throughout its entire life kind of thing. So I don't know. I guess the fear of having these things that are big is that they might be difficult to manage, but maybe they're just not.
I mean, perhaps I totally agree with you. I feel like I haven't seen it here, but in some of our actual real life meetups, seeing the compiler errors that this thing throws makes it feel a little bit more comfortable. Like it'll say, hey, this case is never going to get hit, right? Or like this thing, so whenever you like eliminate some buttons and everything, it'll tell you like, hey, why don't you just delete this whole entire case, this chunk of this case statement, because it's totally unnecessary now. So that kind of like help with pruning it might be useful. That's kind of cool. So I'm gonna I would normally just totally commit this. Is that like a thing that you do?
Yeah,
at this point?
Sure. I'm kind of bad about that, but I'm down with that.
Okay. So we added. Well, what is this stuff? Oh, is this like all?
Yeah.
Oh, is this the compiled stuff? This is the compiled JavaScript. So do you commit this? So should we git ignore like these artifacts and also the compiled? Well, probably not the compiled JS, but how do you deal with that?
That's first time caller here. I have no clue. I would tend to think that you would totally ignore at least this, that ultimately this is going to
get generated.
Well, get generated, but worst case, like that the web static folder, what is the change in there? Like I think definitely the Elm stuff, build artifacts.
Yeah. So let's just for right now, we'll ignore this guy. I don't want to even mess with that right now. So git ignore. And what was it? It was
web Elm stuff, build artifacts.
Whatever. Thank you. And yes, also, whoops, so if we go here, gr. It didn't seem to get it, did it?
Do you? Oh.
But
Sorry about that. Yeah, Safari does not play well with Google Hangouts for future Hangouts.
I don't think you have to put like an asterisk on here, right? Like that's not. You only usually have to declare the. Oh, maybe you do. Never mind. What am I talking about? Maybe you do.
Sorry, nobody can see what you're doing.
Oh, because.
Right. All right. So now we're back.
All right. I'm trying to understand why get ignore seems to not be.
Is there a spelling mistake or something? Do you want to go back and look?
What is it?
Is there a spelling mistake or something? Web, Elm stuff, build artifacts.
I yanked the line.
Yeah, so you definitely shouldn't need like star kind of stuff.
No.
App artifacts, static artifacts. Why don't you put it under static artifacts next to node modules, since that's probably where it's going to go.
Oh, you're talking about up here.
Yep. And save it. And I think it's probably worthwhile just doing a git stats from the command line just to make sure that this isn't a weird. Nope. Does maybe, do you need a double star kind of thing to go nest like infinitely deep in these things? Like I imagine if you give it the full path for both these files, it probably works.
Sure.
But
yeah. Hey, like that kind of deal?
Yep.
Oops, that's not a thing.
All right. It might be worth maybe sanity checking with just giving it the entire path and making sure that it ignores it.
Yep. Is that I a thing?
Is what I?
There's a trailing I. Yeah, it is an I. Okay. Did I make sure I wrote that? Also, I'll give it that as well. Yeah. So. Oh, it's really.
Oh! Don't you have to stage your git ignore for it to try staging the git ignore and then see if it goes away?
I don't think so.
GS is not a thing. Okay, I kind of feel like this isn't maybe the best use of our time. Like we have already added stuff to build artifacts, I'm sure.
Yep. Sweet. We'll just not commit it. We'll ignore it for now, and you know, just carry on with our lives. X, yes, this. So we're gonna commit that. This is and stop. There. Right. Cool.
Good.
So you have a start timer and stop timer.
Sweet. I'm going to, so as the next thing, I was kind of thinking like is stop timer a pause, or is it a reset? Like maybe yeah, we'll just leave it for now. Why don't we make our model a little bit more complicated and have like an elapsed time is kind of what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
ELAP, that doesn't look right at all. Elapsed time. No, ELAP SED. LAP SED. Elapsed time. So we'll say 0.0. I do not like you. Long escape cycle. All right, so elapsed time is going to be, I think there's a type of float. You might could double check on that, or it will yell at me, I guess. It seems to be cool with it.
So I think it's yelling at you right now. So there's probably, you need a comma probably after initial. Okay. And
okay, so we need the version of this that like just updates the one
oh
field.
yeah, it's like a flat or whatever. What is that? Isn't there's like a double colons or something, right? Like that's a thing.
I forget what it looks like. Build new.
Oh, it's model at the front, and then you use a pipe.
Okay.
So yeah, type model inside of there, and then use a pipe bracket. Yep.
Cool. Okay, so just sanity check. That still works. All right. So start timer needs to actually start a timer, not just set a state somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I think.
Question. So elapsed time is a float. Would it make more sense to have like a start time that starts at some, whenever you click the button, it sets start time to some static value, and then you just do your calculations based off that? Because with an elapsed time, it seems like you're going to have to update that number like, what, every second or something? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so why don't we look at the clock example on Elm?
Okay.
Elm clock example. Buttons field form. So it looks like it's not here. Let's look at, it's like Elm subscriptions. Elm tutorial is not.
Examples/clock.
If you want to, you're kind of breaking up for me again. But if you want to send me a link, there we go, subscriptions time. Yeah, so because how at least this time thing works
Okay.
You do want your model to change every single time the time has changed, because your UI is
Refreshes.
yeah. So kind of what the current time is a state, which is a side effect kind of thing, right? So in order to have some kind of guaranteed UI around like given tick is at this number, and maybe even we call it ticks, and the fact that it is tick, and it's a subscription that's happening every second, it probably makes more sense for this to be an integer instead of it being a
float.
A float, yeah.
Yeah, I'm down with all that.
Sweet. All right, so we're going to say that this is an int, and I don't, so annoying. Just gonna hang out for a little bit, wait for escape to get out. Okay, so I would have thought that would be good. I killed my type annotation with the stupid escape, or no, we never had it. All right, cool. So we need to do some kind of subscription like this, and in doing a subscription, I think, yeah, we might need to move to app.program. So let's try and we'll define a subscription, and we do want this like every second. I'm gonna put it at the bottom. Set, paste, insert. Oh, cannot in Google mode. Cool. You just get what it wants. Do something. Nope. There we go. So yeah, everything is kind of all over the place. So this one should be even. This one should be something kind of like that. So we're not importing time, which is why we get that stuff. So let's pull that in. Tick. Where does tick come from? Tick is our event, right?
Something we set. No. Something
I'm imagining it's
a
message.
Alias model to tick right on line 22. Oh, but then that's messages tick in time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, we're gonna need a message, and I think they line break like that. Tick. Time. Okay, so now it's telling us, hey, there's nothing here. So I think this is gonna look like tick time. Not positive. Yeah, so new time.
Is that just you can name it whatever you want, or is it specifically new time?
It is binding to whatever it is you're. So yeah, this is
Boom.
a variable. Yep.
Okay.
So then this is the command none. That's interesting. Why does? Oh, we just send in new time. And time is their model. Is that what's going on?
Yeah. So we actually need to update elapsed time.
Right. So we're gonna say something like model elapsed time is equal to.
So it's supposed to be equal.
Yeah. Model dot elapsed.
Shouldn't that be just new time?
So I'm not sure what new time is, right? I think it's like the actual time. So I think I just want to iterate, add 1 to what it was before. And maybe we'll want to refactor at some point. ELAPSED time. And I don't know that this is something you can do, like +1 like that. Well, let's see if it yells at us. Seems like it's fine. All right.
Yeah, we should use it.
Yep. So let's do a, I guess we need another div.
It looks like the div goes on the outside of the brackets, no?
Yeah, it totally should. Good call. So empty, and then we'll say text, and then model dot elapsed time. And I'm assuming that we're going to have to cast that to string somehow. We probably need a comma there. Cool. So maybe not. So
no, it's still throwing an error on beginner program.
Oh, sweet. So I thought we would have to change this at some point. The argument to function is mismatch. Beginner program is expecting the argument to be elapsed time
string
integer, but it is string. Okay, yeah. So this is totally, we need to cast this integer into a string. So it looks like there's a toString thing that exists at least somewhere. Looks like maybe it's kind of in our core library. toString. I'm guessing this is probably not the problem, but. Can't find variable.
Capital S.
Say that again.
Capital S, capital toString.
Thank you. Cool. So if I start timer, cool. We have a 0.
We have to add the subscription to the beginner program, right? Because it's not. That's probably why it's not ticking.
Totally. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I guess we ignore ticks that the model isn't in a started state or something.
Interesting.
But yeah, we definitely do need to add our subscription. So yeah, I think beginner program doesn't handle this. I'm going to go ahead and break this out how they did. Model view update. So
These weirdos with their comma first formatting.
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm not a fan. It makes me crazy.
All right, so assumingly beginner program isn't going to take that, and so we've got to do app.program. I think is the name of it. Let's go back. Yep, app program.
However, app is mad.
Right, so it's probably HTML app. No, yeah, import HTML exposing HTML is probably what is making this. Yeah, so we need that. We can get rid of that.
Nope, there was one more line that said HTML app as app.
Okay, so we need in init, which returns our model, I think. Init is equal to whatever. Yeah, so it is our model and command none. It seems to look like this. So this is so angry. Init is equal to paste. Hang out for a little while. So it is this thing, seemingly wrapped inside of parentheses with the second thing being CMD none.
What the fuck?
Okay, so init is equal to init. Still not happy. Okay, so it's expecting all of our update statements to now return a command, I think. The argument to function program is causing a mismatch. Function program is expecting the argument to be update elapsed time in its state. Elapsed time message view.
Oh, interesting. I think there was more to be said because it says, but it is, and then it ran off the rest of the buffer. So how do I make that bigger?
It just wants to delete code. That's the only thing that SpaceMax is interested in doing.
Oh my God.
Okay, so Yeah, like I happen to know my update statements contain no commands, right? There are no commands coming out of my update statements. So that is probably what the rest of that was telling us. So it should be this parentheses command business. So when we'll start with command none. Some of these are going to get commands. cmd none.
So what is the, see, this still eludes me, this command none business.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting.
So there's a contract with all of our updates that we return the new state and a new command. And the reason for that is basically to handle these kind of random outside world unknown kind of things. So you're documenting within your kind of history of your application that we requested something to happen, and then we get another event that is like, here's the result of that crazy thing that we is non-deterministic. So this update signature is definitely changed to, and it is going to be model command message. I'm just going to copy it from here. Okay, so init hasn't been, didn't do anything there. So I'll do a type definition for init.
Does it need the type definition right now for some reason?
It doesn't need it, so it's just a warning.
Oh, that's what that was.
Okay. Yeah. Like it is measured in seconds how long I have to wait. And I'll go ahead and update view as well. Okay, so
holy shit.
Yeah. It is probably interesting to know that I imagine if I just hang out here and then I hit start timer, yeah. So in order to
it's happening even whenever we're in initial state, it's still clicking away.
Yep. So one thing that we could do obviously is ignore our elapsed time if we are in a state of initial. If, and I totally don't know if this is how this should look, but if state equal initial, something like that. Yeah, I don't even know what if looks like in Elm. Elm can conditional syntax conditionals. If then else. And double equals is right.
Maybe you return it. So basically just do, instead of +1, do, you know, the equivalent of +0. Because you're going to have to return like a whole, I guess maybe just return model.
Yeah. That was my thought. Model and command dot none. Else. Nope. And is it an end? Hang out.
Nope.
Okay. what, it's this weird, like, highlight everything in yellow thing mode that it gets in, that is causing this.
So if you stop timer and we wait a couple seconds, like it should start back up at 5. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm thinking that we, so stop timer should reset. It's that yellow. Do you have any idea what yellow in Spacemax means?
Mm-mm.
So stop timer should set us completely back to our initial state. So initial is this. So maybe we can just say init, because that's basically what we want. So now we're going to start timer, stop timer, start timer. Yeah. It is, I don't know if you've noticed this, but the first second that happens just really depends where I am within the clock's second. Like it could almost change instantly to 1.
Yep.
So probably in the grand scheme of a 25-minute thing, it's not the hugest bug in the world, but that's some odd behavior for sure. Not unexpected based on how we're doing this. So it's almost like we would like to start the subscription. Well, no, that's not even, the starting of the subscription isn't really the issue. It's, yeah, when we get that first one. Cool. So we can totally commit at this point. Why don't we change our div here to something a little bit larger, like, I don't know. Is the time a headline? It's probably not. Is it a paragraph? I don't know. Maybe a div is fine. Getting so angry at it. So maybe it's not a timing thing. Maybe I just have to double escape to get out of the yellow.
That's not, yeah, it's absolutely like, I don't know what the deal is either, to be honest, because it's just acting really weird. The few times that I've coded anything, it does not feel like normal.
Okay, so let's commit. Can you commit for us, but kind of teach me about Spacemax and how to use its Git packages and everything as you're doing it?
Yeah. So hitting space, if you look and see G says Git and version control. Hit G in there. There's lots of different stuff in here. You can gist things and all kinds of stuff. Almost all the time though, you hit S for maggot status. So space GS is pretty much the jam here. Okay. So once you're inside of here, it tells you like unstage changes. So you press tab on a file, and you can open and close a particular file. Mm-hmm. Right. Also, if you press tab on the whole thing, you get this. There's also different levels of nesting. So if I press 1, it's nothing. If I press 2, it's that. If I press 3, it'll show you like the little chunks, like each hunk or whatever. And if you press 4, it goes to like full bore. That's kind of, how that works. So I can hit, I'm going to hit question mark to pull up like different stuff. So you can see like from this area, you can do like branching or pulling or pushing or stashing. You do all the things from here. What we want to do is we're looking, we can stash individual, hunks of stuff using S, or I said stash, I meant stage. So you can hit S and like stage that and like, yeah, we want this too. So, okay, these are our stage changes. Great. I guess we're ignoring this stuff for the moment. We'll figure that out later. Anyway, so if you were to hit question mark, you could see how do I commit? Committing is with a C. So I'm gonna hit X on this and hit C. And you see down there in the actions, this is where you can do like, basically flags essentially. Like you can just hit enter on any one of these things. But you just pretty much hit C again. So I pretty much just hit CC really quickly. And then you're just in a committing buff, right? So you can say like add
do you never capitalize your commit messages?
Not usually. We can if you feel so inclined.
I'm used to doing that. I'm more asking the question because I'm interested if that is a standard that is intentional, or is that a habit? Is there a style guide that I haven't read? I used to put periods on the end of my commit messages, and that apparently is a big no-no.
Yeah, I don't do that either. I tend to try to stick with lowercase things just in general. I don't know. I think it looks better, to be honest. I think it's more of just like a visual thing for me, but I don't know. I always like get into like weird like capitalization rules of like, well, if I capitalize this, should I capitalize everything, or should I just follow sentence like normal capitalization rules, or like whatever.
Okay. Well, your other one isn't capitalized, so this is going to look weird to be capitalized. You can leave it downcase.
Deal. Great. So we added the tick subscriptions for elapsed, ELA last time. So that's nice too. So using alt/ will autocomplete like whatever. So even like in the Git buffer, right? So all that stuff that's on the left is just like free for auto-completing, which is brilliant for me.
Nice.
Kill it. And you're out of here. And now all the stuff went away.
Cool. So I think we have like probably 15 minutes or so. We can do that later. So I would, I think it's a little weird that the timer doesn't display when it's at 0 seconds. I don't know if that's something, if you feel the same way or not.
So you're talking about like during initial? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think initial should go ahead and show that the timer is at 0. That way things aren't jumping around. Yeah.
So essentially this, right?
Yeah.
But like this also feels very copy pasty, but we can do that for now.
Yeah, let's totally start there. And so actually, I refreshed my page, but it was already there.
Mm-hmm.
So this totally seems good to me. So the other thing, it would be nice if we could support a pause button once we're started. Do you want to implement that for us?
Sure, I can absolutely do that. So okay, so come over here. We want to stop.
Do you feel like paused maybe is because stopped could, I don't know. Pause to me is more descriptive of it is still in progress, and stopped could mean reset, kind of.
PAUSCD?
Yep.
Okay. I'm just gonna yank all this. Actually, do I? Yeah. Well, question. Can I have like two things like paused and initial? Because really that is true. This is paused and initial, like could show the same view. Is there a way to say like paused?
I bet that there is. Why don't we?
Well, I'll just copy this for right now, and we'll use that as like a. Do that in a second.
Okay.
But yeah, so change word PA paused. Start timer and stop timer. Change stop timer to reset timer. Do you have feelings on that? Or you think pause timer?
So I think that pause timer makes sense. Okay. But I think you're right that stop timer should be something that is.
Should I kill the E?
Reset.
Spelling wise? No.
No.
Okay, so this is this. Yeah, timer. This is going to be.
So does it could it be initial? And then we don't need.
No, because initial will reset the count to 0.
It doesn't have to.
What?
So I'm saying you could have a pause timer set the state to initial, and it would maintain its elapsed time, but it would render the initial block from your view, which is the duplication that you just added.
Okay, so you're saying change this to initial, kill this.
And then kill your type of paused.
Yeah. Does that just work? Oh, we need a pause, on-click pause button.
Yep. So pause only makes sense when you're started. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so I have a pause timer, start timer. That actually worked. I was feeling like it wouldn't because of how our condition was set. But because we set our state to initial, yeah. Okay, so I thought we were going to get a state of paused, and therefore it's like we only when it's not initial kind of thing. I thought we'd have to flip that, but it being inside of initial just means that it works.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. So we have a timer that we can really stop, let's restart stop to like reset.
Oh,
maybe
reset timer.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me see this, initial T, reset.
That was sweet.
Yeah. And then F to S. Almost.
Cool. Start. Reset. Start. Pause. Cool. I like it. So let's, so next steps, I think with this, like this is kind of the basic functionality that we need from the front end. The next step for me would be, let's have just a master session that contains, that is able to connect to a Phoenix channel and receive these different events on basically starting and pausing, I guess, are the two things. Oh, and reset. Start, pause, and reset are messages that we're going to have to push out to a channel and broadcast to the people that are listening to that channel. And our initial
what about
state,
so what's interesting is tick. Do we send out tick? Like, because theoretically everybody could have slightly different tick cycles. So who's like the master tick, if you will?
yeah, that seems like maybe something when.
So only deal with start and stop and reset and just kind of let them drift a tiny bit.
Yeah, if that's going to happen, we can let that happen. I don't think the drift is going to be much, but I think we maybe try and refactor to an elapsed time or to a setting of time.
Maybe every time somebody clicks start timer, they also send their current time. So everybody that gets the start timer synchronizes to that bit, right?
But by the time they get that start time message, that's probably going to be more than the drift that would have happened anyway.
Well, I guess the issue that I'm seeing is, so okay, I join the room and I start a timer, and I've had so many elapsed ticks, right? And then somebody else joins the room, and I guess they should theoretically be able to do nothing and just start receiving ticks.
So they're going to join and get the right. Yeah, that's gonna be an issue. So on join, they're going to need to know how many ticks you have. And so in order for us to know that, we're going to, so yeah, I think probably what it's going to be is Elixir is going to manage internally what time it started at.
And so maybe we kill this whole tick subscription right here and we receive the heartbeat from the Elixir process.
That seems like a lot of overhead for Elixir to be sending out those a tick for everyone like that. If it was super important, we definitely could do that. We could subscribe to the channel, and the channel gives us a heartbeat. I wonder do things still broadcast when the presenter, like, it still says live, so I assume so. So yeah, I need to not use Hangouts in Chrome next time. All right, Ybor Tech, and actually, I bet the video is so hosed actually, because when it crashed, I did not redo the like always share the screen from this particular whoever I have selected kind of thing.
Oh, you're saying so anytime we were talking, it was bouncing around.
Cameraman stuff. Oh no, that seems to be a persistent feature. So cool, nice. That's good. Yeah, you should. I think you might need to reset your router before our next one. Again, it seems like your up might be having problems, unless it's just my iPad that isn't hardwired in. But cool, yeah, I think that this is a good stopping point for today. Obviously, we need like a lot of styling and stuff like that so that it makes sense, but we can totally push on to the Elixir side of things next time. Do you want to like have a regular schedule with this?
Sure.
Is this,
yeah.
Like, I don't necessarily think that this is going to be more than maybe 2 more of these hour-long sessions to get it done, hopefully. But want to maybe plan on Monday and Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound good? What for you?
Monday's less exciting for me because that's usually like I have a bunch of stuff that comes up on Monday, and I usually kind of use that to knock out a bunch of things.
Gotcha.
Wednesday is better.
Tuesday, Thursday?
Tuesday, Thursdays should be good, yeah.
Okay. Let's plan on doing Tuesday, Thursday then. Awesome. Cool. Any other parting thoughts?
No. I'll just commit these things. I would have done these in separate commits, but it's all right. We're good. Let's see. Rename. Oh, what is going on? Timer to reset. Add timer.
Cool. Sweet. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. This is shaping up.
Origin.